All right, we finished bivariate stats. We finished examining the charts. We've got an idea of the set of variables that are most important and which variables potentially need some cleaning. Now, again, I know that you haven't learned yet in the course so far how to do that cleaning. We're going to get to that, but I want to stop right now so that you can see at a high level the purpose and the overall process of what we're going through. So what we need to do now is run a multiple linear regression, MLR, based on all these variables to predict sales price. And we need to talk about the process of choosing variables. So first of all, let's just create the MLR. So we know from the book, we're going to need a few packages. So I'm going to go ahead and pull in NumPy. I'm going to get definitely pandas at some point. Let's get statsmodels.api as SM. I gotta make it stop doing that. And then we're also going to do some scaling, even though it's not absolutely necessary for MLR. It's worth getting in the habit of doing it, and at least it'll make our coefficients comparable. So we're going to pull in pre-processing. In fact, that one right there that just popped up, come on. Whatever. Dot min-max scaler, that's the one that we want. I guess I have to click it, really? Yeah, oh well, that's fine. So next, let's mark our label as sales price or sale price. We've already got the housing data pulled in, so I don't need to pull that in again. We've already got it in a data frame up here. I'm just going to redo it one more time, make sure we have it. Okay, actually I probably shouldn't have run that again, don't need that. So as a reminder up here, I don't need to remind all this. We've done it all. Let's keep going. I'm going to skip down here to the end. Okay, got our label. Next, let's go ahead and generate our dummy variables here. I'm not even going to mark it. We're familiar with this. For column in df, we're going to say if not, pd.api.types.is numeric. Oops. dtype, and then check that column, df column, to see if it's not a numeric type. So, in other words, if it's categorical, let's go ahead and run the get dummies. Now, to run the get dummies, we're going to set the data frame equal to the data frame dot, and we're going to join to it. We want to add on the dummy code or dummy features that are created here. So let's do a join to pd.get dummies for that column, df call. Okay, then let's give it a prefix. Prefix equals call, and then let's not forget, let's see, it'll automatically give it an underscore, so that should be fine. Then let's not forget to drop the first each time. Drop first. Do I have it in the wrong place? Oh, I do. Here's my problem. Didn't mean to end get dummies quite yet. Prefix equals call. Now drop first. There it is. Drop first equals false. Perfect. Okay. All right. So we've got the list of dummies. Let's just make sure that's showing up properly. I gotta get that thing out of there. Good. Thank you. df.head. Let's just take a look. From import. Oh, is that really a problem? Okay. df head. What am I missing here? I've forgotten something. Label df. If not. Oh, I missed one more of those. No? Oh, maybe I don't need that word twice. All right, there we go. Perfect. That looks good. Let's make sure that our cleaning has worked properly, where those fields that have numeric start with a number. It's okay. I think we're fine. Cool. So I've got lots of variables. Okay, good enough. Next, let's go ahead and let's do the scaling. So let's set variable x equal to our data frame. Let's select dtypes np.number, so only the numeric types. And so now that we have a list of just the numerics, we've gotten rid of the categorical originals. I just want you to see the difference, what we've got now. Column overlap, what did I miss here? Select types, df min max. It's because this is adding those columns on every single time. We already had the columns, and so now it's adding them again. That's our problem right here. Let's do this. Let's rerun. Every time we run this, let's actually go up here and say df equals, and we'll rerun that our initial function up here, because we'll want to refresh this a lot. Import housing data, and we can pass in import housing data, pass in the data set. Okay, perfect. Categorical fields gone, all the numeric fields left. That looks good. Got our X variable. So now that we have all of the variables, even the labels in here yet, we haven't marked that one as Y yet, because before I mark the Y label, I want to go ahead and run the pre-processing on this. So let's make a new, I guess we didn't even need to call this one X yet. We could have just called this df equals df.select number, and that would have fixed our problem. We wouldn't have even needed to do this. Let's save ourselves the trouble so we don't do it every time. Okay, so df equals df. So now we've gotten rid of the numbers right there. Now we'll say df min max, or we can say, I like min max just so we remember how we scaled it, equals, and this is where we're going to use, let's put it into, the scaling process puts it into a NumPy array, and we lose the data frame structure, so we have to rebuild the structure when we call this data frame, and then let's call that preprocessing dot min max scalar, and we'll pass in, or call on that dot fit transform together. You can call dot fit separately from dot transform if you need to. I forget why you might even need to. Anyway, fit transform the original data frame, and we'll say columns equals df.columns, so we keep, that's how we're getting the column names back in there. So just so you can see why I went through all that trouble, let me just show you real quick. Sometimes students forget this. If I didn't have all this in there and I just called the min-max scalar, let me show you what you'd end up with. df min-max. Okay. Oh, we do have that problem. This equals that dot select type. Let me run this one up here for the last time. Then we shouldn't need to do this again. Oh, come on. All right, I'm officially clearing all this output out of here. I shouldn't have run that. Let's save ourselves the time. Clear, clear, clear. Okay, cool. Run this again. All right, we got the data frame in there. Now run this. Okay, here's what we get back. See this array? This is our first column down to here. It's a NumPy array, a list of lists. And so we've lost all the column headers. But by doing it this way, calling the same thing, but we're putting the results into a data frame constructor where we can also pass in this parameter right here to add column names back into it as well. So now when we do it, it looks like a data frame again, and we get to keep all of these. Okay, so here's our min-maxed scores. No longer need to see those. We're good. We get it. Now let's set up our X features and our Y label. So capital X to indicate that it's multiple features, and we'll say this is going to equal really just df min-max dot drop, and this is where we want to drop out the label. Columns equals, and then we put, we already have a variable called label. Perfect, so that'll drop out sale price, and then Y, oh, I guess we better set the Y first before we drop it. Actually, no, what we can do is say Y, no, we couldn't, never mind. Undo that. Y equals, and then we'll just say df min-max label. Ooh. Okay, we got our x and y's. We do need in our x2 assigned to that now at this point. We're ready to add in the constant. Const equals 1, so that's going to add a new column of all ones so that we can get a y-intercept. And I think that's it. Let's run that and see if we can print out x.head. Okay, looks good. We should be able to go to the end and not have sale price there, but we do have the constant. I guess we wouldn't have seen sale price at the end because we added all the dummy codes, which would end right around here. Months sold right about here. Yeah, we don't have it. Okay, perfect. Let's go ahead and run our MLR. We got the data all prepped and ready. The nulls, remember, were already removed back up here in our import housing data process, so that's why we don't have those. We could actually do all this scaling before we ever run our univariate stats and bivariate stats, but no, I'd rather not. I think I like seeing the original shape right there. Okay, here we go. Let's do model equals. Actually, let's go straight to results. We used to do this in 2 lines. Oh, I meant to do it up here. And we're going to skip it this time. We're going to do it all in one line. We're going to say model equals, or results equals statsmodels.ols, and we're going to pass into that the y and the x, and then we're going to call .fit right there all in the same line, because I don't really need the model object separate from the results. This is going to have all of our MLR results, and we're going to print out. Oh, by the way, this will print into a data frame if we were just to say results dot summary. Yeah, let's get rid of this print right here. We don't need that one. Okay, see how this sort of printed in data frame form? It's mildly nicer, I guess. I don't know if it really matters. Either way, I'll leave it. So here's what we need. And I'm going to pause the video and give you, I want you to pause the video and give you a chance to think through it. Our goal now, well, first let's evaluate here. We've got an R squared of 9.21, adjust R squared, a bit lower, quite a bit lower relatively, well, sort of, indicating that we have a whole lot of variables right now that aren't doing a lot of good. What we need is a process to remove the variables that don't matter the most, or that matter the least first, and remove them one at a time, or a small chunk at a time. Now, again, we haven't covered data cleaning, data transformations, categorical binning, numeric binning. We haven't done that yet in the course. So there's a lot that can still be done to improve these. There's even better ways of evaluating which variables we should keep, which features we should keep. We haven't covered those yet. I want to ignore all that for now, and I want you just to worry about looking at the coefficients, t-tests, p-values, r squared, adjusted r squared, and making some decisions on which ones to take out. And in fact, what I'd like you to do is take a moment to pause and think, what can you write to automate this process to make it easier? Let me show you what I mean. So first of all, I want to get a list of all these things, of these coefficients and these scores sorted from worst or least valuable to most valuable. And then I want to check and see what happens to my r squared and adjusted r squared and the difference between them as we take out one variable at a time. So let me do it manually, and then I want you to stop and think through how to automate that process. So let's come down here, and what I want to do, let's first pull in, no, let's just print this thing out. Let's create a new, let's do a new data frame, and let's put this in. Let's say, not results, let's call it features, df features. And let's make this equal to pd.dataframe. And I want to put into this, actually, let's make it a dictionary. And let's say the first item is going to be the coefficients. In the coefficients column, let's add let's add a list of results.params. So results, remember, is this object up here, the results of our model, and it has all of this information right here stored in this results object. The parameters object is just the list of features right here. So actually, sorry, it's a list of the feature values. So let's pass those in with the label coef. Let's pass in the t-test scores, the next dictionary key value pair, and let's call this results.t-values. Then let's add the p-values. Results.p-values. Perfect. Once we've got all those in a data frame, we can actually sort that data frame. So let's say df features dot sort values, values, and then we'll say by equals. Let's sort first by, I think I like the t-test first and foremost, followed by the p-value. And let's do this ascending. I was going to say greatest to least, but I actually want to start removing the weakest ones. So let's leave it in ascending order so that it'll show us the weakest ones first. Now, one problem you're going to notice immediately is that by sorting by t-test score first, it's going to give us it's going to sort lowest to highest, which gives me, where is it? Not that one. Right here, the negative. That's actually a really big high t-test with a tiny p-value. So we need the t-test scores that are closest to 0, which means we better stick an absolute value over this thing. And may as well, we'll leave it on the coefficient so we can see whether it's supposed to be negative there, because we're not sorting by that one. But at least now we'll get truly the weakest ones first instead of just the ones that are most negative. Okay, here we go. Utilities all pub. That is our weakest variable, predicting whether or not someone, or the price someone will pay to purchase a house. So that conceptually what we're trying to do is remove. Now I want you to remember what these scores are right here, because they're going to change. I want to remove this utilities all pub from my model up here. So I can do it in a few places. For now, I'll just do it right here when I'm dropping the label. I'll just go ahead and drop this one at the same time. Rerun my overall MLR model, which now means it's no longer in the model, but that hadn't, so such a little effect, it hasn't actually changed anything here. But down here, let's run this one again. So you can see that that one's gone out of the model. Here we go. Now the next smallest one is neighborhood Brdale, whatever neighborhood that is. So nothing's changed other than we've removed one variable. Now things have changed, but it's out to so many decimal places of the r squared that you just can't see it. Also, these coefficients have all changed. Anything that feature, that group was utilities all pub was correlated with, the coefficient here has now adjusted as well, and some of them may be more significant than they used to be. That's why we have to rerun this table right here to see if this next one is still the least, or I guess it's actually up here. Oh, I hadn't scrolled all the way up. I removed one that wasn't actually the smallest. This is the smallest. But that's the idea, is we want to sit there and remove them one at a time until we've got only the 5 to maybe 15 features that really, that's not a hard rule, 5 to 15, but the smallest number of features that give us the best r squared possible, and that's our goal. So what I want you to do is pause the video and think of a way to automate this process so that you don't have to sit here and copy this and one at a time go back up here, rerun the model by adding another one to the list to take out, running it again, running this one again, resorting and saying, okay, now where am I? Where am I at? This could take forever. So you need to think of some way to automate this process a bit faster. And if you can think of a way to do it, keep track of the results of each one of these models as we take one of them out. Keep track of all these numbers, maybe add a few decimal places so we can see exactly how our model is improving over time. So pause the video, do the best you can, then come back here and I'll show you how I'm going to do it.